Did God give me a stroke? I think I've always prayed. My parents are godly people. I grew up as a missionary kid in Mexico, and God was always a huge part of our lives, thanks to my parents. Before my stroke, I prayed for things. I think it's more like that Jelly Roll song. I only pray to God when I need a favor. It's one of those things where it's like wishing, right? Like rubbing the lamp with the genie in it. Dear God, please make all my wishes come true. That's probably not the best way to communicate with the Almighty. Prayed to lose weight. I was running, I know exactly how much. I had a doctor's appointment like 2 weeks before my accident, and he weighed me in at a record 384. That was a little bit of a shocker. I prayed to lose weight, to give me the strength to make better decisions with my eating and exercise. But did I put in the effort? Nah, probably not, or I wouldn't have been 384. Prayed to help me quit smoking. Was a heavy smoker before the accident. About 2 packs a day. 30 to 50 smokes a day. Well, he answered both those prayers. I lost 80 pounds in the hospital, and spending almost a year in a hospital environment, not a great place to light up smoke in your whole hospital room. So I quit smoking and I lost weight. Maybe God answered my prayers in kind of a cruel, comedic fashion. Does God have a sense of humor? Oh yeah. I read a book like 4 times, Alan Carr's Easy Way to Quit Smoking. Wait till you see my book, The Hardest Way Ever to Quit Smoking, on bookshelves now. I also prayed for a closer relationship with my wife because we were going through a sketchy time before my accident. Huge stress in our lives with dealing with her cancer, loss of the business, filing for personal bankruptcy, and then the stroke. Crazy. Doesn't do great things for her. I guess I can do one of 2 things, right? Just kind of drove us apart before the crash. And now, baby, we spend every day, all day together. My wife's still not working either, just from the long-lasting effects of cancer that she's dealing with and the treatment, the neuropathy. Benjalin's a hairdresser, so her fingers don't work right since the treatments. So lots of medications. Pretty hard to cut hair if your fingers aren't working. How are my ears? Still there? Now we spend every day, all day together. Our relationship's pretty close. Did God answer that prayer? In a comedic, cruel fashion? No. Maybe comedic. I wouldn't say cruel. I'm not a religious man, but I believe in God. I believe in His limitless power and love. And I don't believe that God does cruel things to good people just to get a kick out of it. So I'm going to use this experience. I'm going to use it to become a better person, to help my community, to be healthy, focus on maintaining my relationship with my family, and professional. Because now I have to start all over, rebuild a career with what I have left. One of my biggest assets was always my size and strength. I wasn't making great decisions before the accident. Health-wise, like I said, smoking and my weight. I also really craved to be part of something. I think most of us do. Community. Being a biker, I had friends in a 1% motorcycle club. And I thought, that'd be a great idea. maybe I will join that. So I was on the program to become a member, working my way up in the club when the accident happened. I was actually riding with the club the day that this happened. So did God give me a stroke? Or did all the decisions I was making lead up to the stroke? Probably the latter. The opening clip on this episode is from a movie called Frank versus God. Kind of a cute movie my wife and I watched the other night. Free on YouTube. The lawyer had lost his house to a tornado, and the insurance company told him that acts of God were not covered under his policy. So the main character sues God, and that's where that scene is from. One of the priests. What a great scene. Does God do bad things to good people? I don't think so. But I think God lets bad things happen to good people, partly based on the decisions that they've been making, and for reasons we'll probably doesn't ever know. While laying in the hospital bed for months, first 2 months in the actual hospital, not in the rehab brain injury center, I had some very close people to me spend a fair amount of time with me and share God with me. Bit of a, what do they call that? Captive situation. They got me now. I can't run away. I can't walk away. My brother Jason was a big one. Thank you, Jason. I think that I had a relationship with God, but just enough. What I thought was just enough. Even as I was doing all this bad crap, making dumb decisions. Still praying and wishing and asking for things. Hoping that it was enough. While it wasn't. Close friend of ours, Holly, her father is very spiritual. Blair came by to visit many times. So there's putting in the words, and then there's actually putting in the actions. My mother was always in my ear. My wife as well has become very spiritual. Wonderful relationship with God. So he's been a big part of my life since the accident. But did God give me a stroke? Maybe. I don't know. Only he knows that. Are good things coming from it? Yes, there are. When you feel helpless and broken, it's wonderful to have faith in the higher power. I've had nothing but time to think, pray. One thing that I started doing is showing gratefulness. Being grateful for all the wonderful things I've had in my life and currently have in my life. I am a very blessed man. I've said this before, but it's so critical and important to be nice to people when you're able-bodied. There's a woman who's had a stroke, has a YouTube channel. Her name's Catherine Wolf. At the Brain Injury Center, they showed a video of her to the group in Ed Center. If you have a chance, Catherine Wolf, phenomenal story. And a God lover as well. I don't think everybody needs to go through something like this to wake them up to God. Sure hope not. For your sakes. God is there. Catherine said that she doesn't call able-bodied. She calls them temporarily able-bodied. Because everybody's going to end up disabled at some point in their life, physically. She talks about the emotional disabled as well. I think that is most of us. We'll carry pain, resentment, sadness, grief. I don't know which is worse, physical or emotional disabilities. Probably emotional. Physical, well, I guess both you can work on, right? You can progress. I wish I didn't take this, but I'm a pretty hard-headed man. So maybe this is what it took. Regardless, this is what it is. So I will continue to be grateful for the wonderful things I have in my life. Another thing I've had to work with is my impatience and showing grace to others. Being in the facility was a real eye-opener to what my accident really could have been. Friends I made in there with far worse disabilities than what I ended up with. I'm one of the lucky ones. So it's kind of funny being in an environment where a whole bunch of them, at least half of the people there, looked at me as, wow, you're lucky. So thank you, God. I am fortunate. That is hard to accept sometimes. People, for whatever reason, like to remind me how much worse things could have been. But on the flip side, couldn't they have been better? Yeah, they could have. This could have never happened at all. The irony is, regardless of the motorcycle accident and who I was hanging out with, I was heading towards a stroke regardless, with my weight, my smoking. So the decisions I was making was leading up to this point, regardless of the motorcycle accident. Motorcycle accident, I guess, is just a cool way to say it gave me a stroke instead of just being a fat smoker. Gotta be cool. So thank you to all the godly friends that I have and family in my life. I don't think there's many more spiritual feelings that I've had in my life than riding my bike through the mountains here in Western Canada. It is a spiritual experience because I will ride again. I've been blessed with godly people. Evie from the Brain Injury Center was the principal of the Ed Center, which is basically school. Not basically, it is school. You could ask her my pitiful questions, why me? You could tell spiritual people, they stick out in the crowd. And apparently I do too, because I drew them to me like a magnet. Probably because I couldn't run away. So did God give me a stroke? No. I gave me a stroke. But now this is life. So I need to make the best of it. Could I even have a better life than I had before, able-bodied? I believe that's possible. I'm going to try anyway. No harm, no foul. What's the worst thing that could happen, right? Oh, I got to quit saying that. There's lots of worse things that can happen. If you're enjoying the content, please do the like and subscribe thing. If you know people that this could benefit, please share.